Welcome along to the Olympic Stadium in Rome. One of the great days of the European football season, every season, is the Rome derby. And we're here to bring you this, Lazio versus Roma, live. The two teams come into this game in very different states. Lazio struggling of late, just 2 wins in their last 9 matches in all competitions. And a rather surprising elimination from the Europa League at the hands of Sparta Prague to contend with as well in the midst of that run. Roma, for their part, also eliminated from European competition, but much more expected result, beaten on aggregate by the might of Real Madrid. But in terms of their Serie A performances, they have been unplayable of late. 8 wins and 1 draw in their last 9 matches, and that draw was a little unfortunate as well at home here against Inter before the international break, a match they certainly deserved to win. Well, Roma coach Luciano Spalletti keeps faith with the same 11 that started the match against Inter and that played so well in patches against the Nerazzurri. Lazio are forced into a couple of changes. They've got a little bit of an emergency in the defensive phase of their game, Lazio, right now. A number of injuries to key defensive players. So it'll be very interesting to see how the Biancoceleste squad copes with those injuries in what is sure to be a keenly contested match. You'll have noticed, I'm sure, that the stadium is a long way from being full. Both groups of ultras, the rather passionate, hardcore, if you like, element of the support. I don't mean hardcore in the sense of hooliganism. That's certainly not always the case. Very unfair translation when that occurs. But the ultras groups of both sides are agreeing on one thing, that they're protesting and staying away from the stadium for this one. And what would normally be an absolutely jam-packed Stadio Olimpico on this bright, sunny Roman afternoon has an attendance of somewhere around the 25,000, maybe 30,000 mark. Luca Banti in the middle there is today's referee. Alessandro Florenzi, the stand-in captain for Roma in the absence off the field of both Francesco Totti and Daniele De Rossi. Lucas Biglia, the Argentine, is the Lazio captain. There's the Roma coach, Luciano Spalletti. He's had a very successful time of things since returning to the club in January, taking over from Rudy Garcia. Only Juventus have scored more points in the time since his return. He's even taking more points than championship-chasing Napoli. There's his opposite number, Stefano Pioli, who's had an up-and-down time of things this season. Much will be forgiven, however, if his team can stymie Roma's chase for the 2nd place in the championship, and that would mean automatic qualification for the Champions League next season. There will be a minute's silence and respect to mark the passing of Cesare Maldini, one of the greats of Italian football, former Milan player, Milan coach, Italy under-21 coach, and Italian national team coach as well. Died at the age of 84. Well, I said there would be a minute's silence. There wasn't, unfortunately. A small handful of morons spoiled the silence. What sad, sad lives these people must lead. Anyway, let us focus on the match in hand. Should be a good one. They're usually fiercely contested. Roma won the last encounter between them in Serie A when it was their home game, 2-0. Edin Dzeko from the penalty spot. He's on the bench today. and Gervinho were the scorers. And the referee gets us underway, and it's Roma onto the attack in their red shirts, heading left. Early bit of defensive work for Lazio. Biglia looking for the run of Alessandro Matri. I'll take you through the two starting lineups as soon as there's a suitable breaking play. Szczesny was the kick downfield. Finds Mohamed Salah. Nice little layoff by Salah. Matri was half a mile offside, pretending he didn't realise. Lazio starting with Marchetti in goal. Patrice at the right back role. Bisevac, Hood and Barafed across the back. Parolo, Cataldi, Biglia, Candreva and Felipe Anderson in midfield, and Alessandro Matri the lone striker, although both Candreva and Felipe Anderson will be looking to get forward and supports him when they can. Roma responding with Szczesny in goal, Florenzi, Manolas, Rudiger and Digne across the back. Here is Digne, the Frenchman. Pjanic, Keita, Nangolan in midfield, Salah, Perotti and El Shaarawy, the front runners. No place in the starting lineup, not just for Edin Dzeko, who I've already mentioned, but Daniele De Rossi or Francesco Totti, although we may see one or both of them later on. Here's Mohamed Salah battling away. He's outnumbered, but he's done very well. El Shaarawy defending possession inside the penalty area, and a couple of men back to block him out. One of them, the Candreva there. Digne with the corner. First one of the match. 2 minutes gone. Decent delivery in. It's gone a long way through. Felipe Anderson looking to clear downfield and can't keep it in play. He's got some distance on it though. That will be fine for the time being for Lazio as they look to reorganise defensively. Digne. Strong challenge on him, but the ball had been played away. Here's Rudiger. Reclaimed his place in the starting lineup a couple of games ago at the expense of Ervin Zukanovic, who was brought in on loan from Sampdoria in the January transfer window. Turned forward nicely there by Digne, and that was a foul. El Shaarawy going to ground. Milan. Bisevac with the challenge, the 32-year-old Serb. Felipe Anderson, such a bright, talented player, but he's so frustratingly inconsistent. Parolo's done very well. Tried to squeeze it through to Matri, who might be able to judge the bounce of the ball better than Rudiger. He wasn't quite quick enough to get round the other side of the big German. Patrick decides discretion is the better part of honour, the young Spaniard. Federico Marchetti, fairly firmly ensconced as Italy's number 2. Feel a little sorry for Marchetti. You'd get the impression that he'd probably be the first choice goalkeeper for probably 80–85% of the footballing nations in the world. Unfortunately for him, Italy is in that 15 or 20% that has somebody better. The not inconsiderable figure of Gigi Buffon. Biglia was hassled out of it by Nangolan, and the ball is broken loose. Mohamed Salah allows it to run for a corner. Here is Edin Dzeko, finding it a little tough to find a regular starting berth since Luciano Spalletti's return. Spalletti quite often prefers to play without an orthodox centre-forward. Florenzi with the corner. He's got plenty of red shirts to aim for. Goes in low. Not particularly clever free corner, that one. Felipe Anderson again doing the defensive work and clearing it downfield. Keeps it in play this time, but Lucas Digne was comfortably in control. It's a gorgeous sunny afternoon here in the Italian capital. Spring well and truly on its way. Rudiger. Flipping it forward, El Shaarawy. Nicely taken in his stride by Perotti. Had the strength to hold off the first challenge as well. Oh, very strongly in there by Candreva. Really stepped across his man. Early signs looking good for Roma. Dominating possession and moving the ball around pretty quickly, quite accurately. Lazio quite happy to be a little bit more defensive and try and hit on the counter-attack, although you get the feeling really with Lazio this season that they're running out of time if they're going to get a European place for next season. They're currently 12 points from Inter in 5th. And only the top 5 teams in Italy will get European football next season. 12 points in 8 games to make up. That's a big ask. Got to be looking for the 3 points here. Bravheid with the throw. Lovely little touch by Felipe Anderson. It's what he's capable of. Doesn't produce it often enough, but he's got lovely technique and a really quick brain. Footballing brain, that is. Cushions the header nicely. Bravheid again. Candreva takes over. He can be very dangerous. Italian international. Anderson shaping up against Florenzi, and he's brushed past him. Florenzi with the clearance, half away. Biglia. Lazio putting on some pressure for the first time in the match, but that was a little bit of a waste. Easy catch for Szczesny, and Roma can ease the pressure and bring the ball downfield. Perotti. Really astute piece of business he was, arriving from Genoa in the transfer window. El Shaarawy. Another arrival in the transfer window, and he's had a good time of things as well. Digne was offside, I think. Players continued. And Biglia had to get back and make a very firm challenge, and he's won the goal kick, the Argentine. Looked to me, I have to be honest with you, as though Digne was offside. Oh, I got that completely wrong. Assistant referee was bang on. That was the touch a few moments ago from the gifted Brazilian. And flying past Florenzi as well. Just couldn't quite get to the ball before the sliding challenge came in. Parolo wins the header and wins it well. Manolas was underneath it though. Perotti. El Shaarawy. Perotti keeps his run going. El Shaarawy cuts infield. Pjanic turns away from Cataldi very smartly. And Roma spread the play nicely. Perotti's got a couple of players to aim for. He looks up, just hits Biglia with the attempted cross though. Matri looking for the free kick. And Matri wins the free kick. One of those players, Alessandro Matri, now at the age of 31, that might look back and feel he didn't quite make of his career what he could have done. Showed plenty of promise as a younger man, and I suppose it sounds a little churlish to say that somebody who played 74 league games for Juventus and scored 27 goals in that time, has wasted his career. He certainly didn't waste his career, that's not fair. But big things were expected of him, and he hasn't quite delivered those. That's really clever play from Felipe Anderson to get that cross in. Poor throw from Szczesny. Nainggolan with an excellent sliding challenge, setting Mohamed Salah one-on-one against the defending players. Holt was trying to hold him up and has done well. And they've bullied Salah into the corner, and he's got no support there. Roma just a little slow to get forward with the Egyptian. Nice work by Candreva. Arguably Italy's best player in their recent friendly match against Spain when they drew 1-1. Well, he might not be on the field, Daniele De Rossi, but he's certainly still feeling the tension and drama of the derby. Italy's friendly results were a mixed bag. Drew 1-1 with Spain. Put on a good performance, actually, although you got the impression that the Spanish were playing well within themselves. They were then humbled 4-1 by Germany. Absolutely outthought, outplayed, outmaneuvered. So plenty of food for thought for Antonio Conte. Poked wide for Candreva, just had it taken off his toes by Florenzi, who wanted a free kick, but the referee said no, we can play on from there. If you're just joining us, welcome along. The Rome derby, Lazio 0, Roma 0, as you can see in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Roma overall the better side, but Lazio now growing into the game a little more. Here's Matri, one-on-one against Rudiger. And the big German comfortably sees the ball out of play. You have to go back to May 2013 for the last time Lazio won a derby. Mind you, it was a great one to win. It was the Italian Cup final. Senad Lulic scoring the winning goal. He's suspended for this one, by the way. Lazio cult hero, of course, having scored that goal. Since then, we've had 3 Roma wins and a couple of draws. Digne launching it downfield. Salah underneath it, does brilliantly, the Egyptian, to hold off the defender and collect possession. Lazio were back in sufficient numbers, though. Here's Biglia. That was a foul on him by Pjanic. Rafaid. Candreva looking for the little give and go and collects. Trying to set Matri free. Matri with the header down. Just didn't quite make the connection he was looking for. Nainggolan's done well, although Brafhard might feel he misjudged that one a little fatally. Here's Perotti. He's got Nainggolan making a great run for him if you can find him. He was just a little slow there, Perotti. And he's asked a lot of El Shaarawy, who's done well to keep that in. Possible counter-attacking chance there could have been created. Pjanic gives possession away. Parolo with the block. Manolas. Nainggolan goes for goal from distance, but that's bouncing comfortably wide. Greeted with a chorus of jeers and whistles from the Lazio fans. No trouble at all for Marchetti, that one. Keita and Parolo competing for the header. Seemed to come off the Mali international Keita last. Lazio have taken the throw. Candreva. Nice volleyed pass, El Shaarawy. Good ball in, he'll get it back. Digne. Chance to measure a ball in, he's found El Shaarawy! And Roma have the lead! Fine headed goal by Stefan El Shaarawy. Well picked out by Lucas Digne. And Roma take the lead in the derby. And it's El Shaarawy's 6th goal in Serie A since joining on loan. What a signing he has proved to be. Very elegantly clipped in, no question of offside. He drifted between the central defenders. Nobody really kept a close enough eye on the Italian international. Marchetti did his best, but couldn't keep it out. Really nicely placed. It seemed to slide off the side of his head a little, I have to be honest with you. But he got enough on it. And it was accurate. That was the most important thing with that one. And Roma lead 1-0. Well, that will hurt the Lazio players, because it came at a moment when they were just showing signs that they were growing into the game a little. Candreva starting to have a little bit more influence. Felipe Anderson's played a couple of little nice touches. But Roma won't mind at all. Really smartly worked goal on the counter-attack, and Lazio's defensive vulnerability exposed by the unmarked run of Stefan El Shaarawy. Perotti, nicely controlled, just manages to keep his balance as he's pursued by Cataldi. Well, Napoli lost a little earlier today, so Roma have a chance to close the gap on them in second place to 4 points. Second place this season would guarantee the club Champions League football next season in the group stages. Third place does get you a Champions League place, but you've got to go through the preliminaries. And that's important, because it just means there's a different training schedule, a different type of preparation for the coming season. And if you have to go through qualification for the Champions League than if you're going straight into a league season a little bit later on. Marchetti. Difficult kick for Felipe Anderson to control there. Marchetti really asking a lot of him. The Brazilian did his best, but wasn't able to keep it in. Nangolan. Nice ball out wide, El Shaarawy. The 1-2 was a little telegraph there. Felipe Anderson came away with it. Candreva. Concern for Pioli. Starting to feel the pressure as the Lazio coach. The team hasn't been consistent enough this season. They haven't been helped by injuries of late, it has to be said. They've been a little more unlucky than most in terms of the number of first-team players that have had to miss games, but even so, performances often haven't been good enough. Here's Matri trying to get the wrong side of Rudiger again, and the German does well. Lost his footing slightly, but just did enough. Patrick. Parolo. Candreva's trying to move wide for him and has done so. Easily found. Not quite sure what Pjanic was appealing for. Candreva mustn't be allowed to get it onto that right foot. He's got a ferocious shot on him. Florenzi clips it away, but it'll be a throw-in. Oh dear, missed kick there by Cataldi. And this is where Roma could perhaps take advantage again. Mohamed Salah, he's in with a half chance. Can he go for the curler? Tries to find Pjanic. And Lazio do well to keep the ball in play. And Pjanic in the end blocks it behind for a goal kick. Lazio just being a little bit hurried and hassled in midfield. Here's a replay of the goal. Really did well with the cross there, Lucas Digne. Looked up and absolutely plopped it onto the head of El Shaarawy. Ooh, that was a little bit of a risky header from Rudiger, and it's now turned into a rugby style up and under. Candreva battling away for it. Pjanic turns it forward. And this is where they might get some joy. Suspicion is amongst some of the Lazio fans that Braafheid isn't his most comfortable when he's left one-on-one with a skillful attacking player, and Mohamed Salah is certainly that. El Shaarawy nips it away from Felipe Anderson. Digne. Overly enthusiastic challenge, let's call that, from Lucas Biglia rather. Oh, a half chance in again. El Shaarawy, defence stood still and he couldn't find Salah. We were watching a replay of the foul. Let's have a look from the other camera angle what happened. Pjanic clipped it over the top, he was onside. Lovely piece of vision from Pjanic. And El Shaarawy was unselfish, he tried to do the right thing. Just couldn't quite find the right angle. Manolas. Halfway through, just over halfway through this first half. Derby shaping up nicely. There's an early goal, some feisty challenges, and Lazio now will be forced to come and play a bit more. Here's Felipe Anderson. If they can get him into the game, they've got a great chance of coming back into it. Shot was blocked. Patrick and Perotti battling away for it. Perotti doing well in the first place to pinch possession from the young Spanish right-back. Daniele De Rossi waving the invisible yellow card. And the referee has responded, not necessarily to De Rossi, but has pulled out the yellow. The young Spaniard becomes the first player to see the yellow card this afternoon. We haven't had a sending off in the derby the last 4 occasions it's been played, but that comes on top of a run of 6 derbies where at least one player was sent off. They are usually rather feistily contested, these matches, as you might imagine. And the fact that somebody wasn't sent off in the last derby is still a mystery to me. The referee had an absolute nightmare. Senad Lulic should have been sent off 2 or 3 times. Long ball over the top. El Shaarawy hoping the defenders misjudged the flight of it, and they didn't. Nangolan. Good strength from the Belgian. Forced away from goal, but he retained possession. That was the main thing in that case. Keita. Florenzi looking to join in the attack. Calls Mohamed Salah into the action. I thought it was into Florenzi's path. Candreva waited just for the last moment to retrieve that. Clever footwork from the Italian international. Brought down by Pjanic, perhaps. And Candreva allowing his frustration to spill over into a verbal abuse of the referee. And Luca Banti not having any of it. Yellow card out. Candreva feeling that he was brought down by Pjanic. Well, there was certainly contact between the two of them, in fairness. And the free kick was given. It was a rather petulant display by the Lazio man, presumably because he felt that Pjanic should have been booked. In any case, he has been booked. Lazio move forward. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Parola with the half chance to shoot. Does so, but it was a fairly weak effort in truth. Biglia misjudges the volleyed pass. Florenzi brings it away. Here's Nainggolan. Spreading it wide very intelligently for El Shaarawy. Can he keep that ball in play? Yes, he can. Spun away from him a little awkwardly, but he's got it under control now. He's got men supporting him here. One of them is Perotti. He's got a couple of players to try and dig out. Salah, nice control from Mohamed Salah. Nainggolan. A little bit too intricate perhaps from Roma. And Felipe Anderson comes away with it. Oh dear. Candreva rather bottled out of that one. Didn't fancy competing physically against the incoming Manolas and allowed the Roma defender, I should say, he's Greek, allowed him to take possession. Here's Marchetti. Gets underneath the ball a little, but still in the direction of Candreva. Was that a foul by Florenzi? No, it wasn't. Foul by Candreva. Oh, he was offside. Here's Digne. El Shaarawy again looking lively, making options for him. Manolas joining in the attack. Here's Nainggolan. Florenzi flipping it forward. Ball takes a deflection. Mohamed Salah has done well to control that. It was spinning rather awkwardly. Little ball into the penalty area, and Patrick is there for Lazio. Lazio have won just once in their last 6, and again they've been hassled out of the ball in midfield. And here's Pjanic with the chance. He's just taking it a little far, just over-elaborating there, Roma, a little bit. I wonder if Perotti may have been better off driving for goal himself. But it's been an excellent display by Roma in that midfield area. Here's Felipe Anderson. They need to keep a careful eye on him. Matri has drifted out wide. Biglia's coming in. Digne does well. Patrick, it was rather, coming in behind the fullback Perotti. Oh, he's got a little bit lucky there. Misjudged the pace on the ball, and he's driving at the defenders by himself. He needs some support. Here's Nainggolan. Nainggolan with the shot. It's powerful, but it's over the top. Certainly opened up a little for the Belgian. You can't blame him for going for goal from there. Just couldn't keep it down. Parolo. Spent most of his career, Marco Parolo, as not quite a journeyman. He's a better player than that, but fairly ordinary looking Serie A midfielder. And suddenly in the last couple of years he's stepped up a level and earned himself Italian international recognition. Here's Mohamed Salah. Fancies his chances, does he? No. Nice little feint. And Perotti couldn't ball the ball back to him with the back heel. Lazio can break. Here's Candreva. He's quicker than he looks as well. He's quite powerfully built, Candreva, quite robust, but he can move a lot quicker than most people imagine. Here's Felipe Anderson, turning away from trouble. Doing well to defend possession, although that was good defending from the Frenchman. The cross is high, spinning awkwardly. Florenti does well to put a foot in. Oh, nice running from Nainggolan. Switches play. El Shaarawy. Lazio often being exposed down this right-hand side. Lazio now. Good defensive discipline, in fairness. They've got themselves back into position. But Roma are quite happy to play keep ball. They don't have to chase the game. They've got the goal advantage. And they know that further chances on the counter-attack will come as Lazio have to push forward. Here's Nainggolan. Nice ball. It was great movement again from El Shaarawy. Goes for goal. Kept the shot accurate, kept it low, but Marchetti was behind it. Candreva on the far side. Closing in on 150 league appearances for Lazio, Antonio Candreva. Here's Pjanic, tipping it over the top. Just gave the ball a little bit too much height, and Wesley Hood did well to read it, but not very well to keep possession. There have been 143 previous games between these two old rivals in Serie A. Roma have won 50. Lazio have won 36, and there have been 57 draws. Roma have the upper hand in the last few years. Beat Lazio 2-0 earlier this campaign. Beat them in the corresponding fixture here last season, the Lazio home game right at the end of the season. Iturbe and Yangonbiwa with the goals. Yangonbiwa with the winning header 5 minutes from the end. Keita looked like he was going to be hassled out of possession there, but managed to find a teammate very well. Turned on by Salah, the ball will be spinning. And Patrick helps it back to his keeper. Marchetti perhaps had a little more time than he realised there. Felipe Anderson. Here's Candreva. You've got to give Candreva credit. He is trying to start something for Lazio. He's running at players, he's trying to bring others into the game, and he's won the free kick there. And this could be dangerous for Roma. Keita disappointed with the decision, but certainly looked to be contact between the two men. Well, he was looking for it, Candreva, of course. You can tell by the way he angled his body, but probably the right decision. And what can Lazio conjure up? It would be a wonderful moment for them to find an equalising goal after they've really lost their way since Roma scored. Almost as though the confidence which they'd started to build up, they were gradually playing their way into the game. Roma scored and Lazio seemed to have been rather deflated by that. Biglia is a useful player from this sort of range. Saw him score a very fine free kick earlier this season against Atalanta. Not from quite this position, but nonetheless similar sort of distance. Roma players know that there's danger here. Lazio have a few men forming a false wall. Biglia goes for it. It's over the top. Well, he got the ball over the wall, fine. He couldn't get it down enough the other side, and in fairness, Szczesny may well have had that covered in any case. Rudiger hammering it away first time. El Shaarawy and Patrick both misjudging the bounce of the ball first time, but El Shaarawy very smartly taking advantage the second time. That was a foul. Danilo Cataldi, the guilty party. Gianni Spalletti absolutely furious. I think with Lucas Digne that he wasn't offering himself as an attacking option. I didn't quite catch the beginning of that rant by Spalletti. Felipe Anderson, Marco Parolo's making a great run for him if the Brazilian can find him. Oh, he's drifted past a second challenge here. Felipe Anderson and going for the third. No penalty. It was an ambitious shout from the Lazio player. Here's El Shaarawy. Roma on the break. El Shaarawy being challenged by Biglia and being fouled by the Argentine. And he's been shown the yellow card as well, the Lazio captain. It's just gradually turning into one of those games where you get the impression that we might not finish with 22 men on the field. Well, it's one of those where the defender doesn't have any chance to get out of the way. He steps across. Francesco Totti warming up. It's a standing ovation from the Roma fans, and of course the opposite of a standing ovation, just a series of jeers and whistles from the Lazio supporters. Stefano Pioli having a word with the referee and being given a word as well by Luca Banti. Well, I'm not going to translate what he said there, but suffice to say it wasn't suitable for family audiences. That was his reaction to the penalty claim. Digne with the corner. Way too deep, headed away. Florenzi. Nice idea, just gave it too much. Nail-biting stuff, obviously. Andreva dispossessed. Here's Mohamed Salah, Roma's top scorer in Serie A so far this season, although in truth they've not really been able to get him into the game so far this afternoon. More of their play, Roma, has come down this near side. Perotti and El Shaarawy. El Shaarawy it is, whose goal separates the teams. If you are just joining us, 5 minutes or so before the break. 15th minute, El Shaarawy headed home. Lucas Digne's well-placed cross. Keita, Pjanic. Nice angle on the ball for Digne. Perotti away from the challenger. Felipe Anderson couldn't quite dig out enough on the cross. Nangolan sliding in has done well against the young defender. Pjanic has the chance perhaps to curl off the post and away. Lovely effort from Pjanic. And the final shot is way over the top by Alessandro Florenzi. Really determined work by Nainggolan. Pjanic with the curling effort. Beaten Marchetti. And the post came to Lazio's rescue. Nainggolan in strongly on Candreva as he looked to bring the ball under control. And the referee pulls out the yellow card for Radja Nainggolan, who can't quite believe it. It wasn't his foul, it was the fact that the referee, I think what he's trying to do now is stamp down on players that's doing that, and that's good to see. Waving the imaginary yellow card, it should be stamped out of the game. Fair play to Luca Banzi for that. Nainggolan waving the pretend yellow card, attempting to get an opponent booked, and the referee has shown him the yellow instead, and that means that Nainggolan will miss Roma's next league game. That yellow card takes him over the penalty points limit. In comes the delivery. Oh, Rudiger took it off Keita's head. El Shaarawy. Digne. Lazio pushing out as Roma keep possession. Florenzi now trying to angle it back in towards Perotti. It's a lovely ball, in fairness. Perotti drives it in. Mohamed Salah is there. Marchetti on his right foot. Rudiger wins a good header. Plenty of time, though, for Manolas at the back. They've not been that troubled in the last half hour or so, Roma. Lazio will certainly have to offer a lot more in the second half if they're going to get back into this. Defeat here, and you have to be realistic and say that Lazio will not be competing in Europe next season. Even a win here still leaves them with a lot to do. But defeat against their big rivals would end their season in terms of European interest, and you suspect that the way things are going for Pioli might be the beginning of the end for his job, unfortunately. Nobody likes to see managers sacked, but derby defeats are hard to take when the team isn't playing well anyway. Felipe Anderson turned away from Digne. Manages to nutmeg the Frenchman, but just couldn't quite get there the other side. And he's chased Szczesny all the way down. And Szczesny, as he very often does, I have to say, too often does, gives the ball away with the kick. It's always worth putting pressure on Szczesny. Candreva with the low ball in. Whoa, the deflection almost took it into the path of Parolo. Foul on Keita, who used his experience well there. Edson Braafheid with the little kick at him. Here's the effort from Pjanic. Just over a minute of the first half remaining. Haven't been too many stoppages. Here's Nainggolan playing it through. Perotti was offside. Salah can't get there, can he? No, Wesley Hoedt's done well. Dutchman showed good spirit there. Nainggolan driving past one challenge. He's got a couple of players in support. Nainggolan still going. Radja Nainggolan! No, it would have been one of his best ever goals. He doesn't get on the score sheet too often, the Belgian. No, it was a very powerful driving run. Kept going. Players not able to deal with him, and he wasn't far away, was he? Well, this being a game of top-flight football, as much as a derby. 1-0's never a comfortable lead, but Roma will be pretty pleased with their first half's work. That's the half-time whistle. It's been a good performance by Luciano Spalletti's Roma. They lead the derby by 1-0. El Shaarawy with the goal. Miralem Pjanic also hitting a post. Lazio with plenty to do in the second half. Join us again for the second half. It's Lazio 0, Roma 1. Goodbye for now. Welcome back to the Olympic Stadium in Rome. Lazio 0, Roma 1, the half-time score in the derby here in the Italian capital. The sides just emerging for the second half. If you weren't with us in the first half, Roma the better side. Lazio, however, just showed a few signs that they were growing into the game in the opening exchanges before Roma hit them with a nice goal, robbing Lazio of possession in midfield and moving forward quickly. Stefan El Shaarawy in your picture there, heading home. His 6th goal of this Serie A campaign. All 6 of them, of course, scored since he arrived in January on loan from AC Milan via Monaco in the French league, where he had a miserable time of things in the first half of the season. Particularly nice to see him recovering his form, not just for Roma fans, of course, but also for Italian international fans. Very much part of Antonio Conte's squad for the Euro 2016 tournament, which comes up at the end of the campaign. But focusing on domestic duties here, Lazio have plenty to do. Once Roma scored, the confidence seemed to sap from them. They offered very little as an attacking force. And they do have a couple of very potent attacking players, Antonio Candreva and Felipe Anderson, but neither was able to consistently get into the game. There were a couple of flashes from both players, but nothing concrete. And nothing by way of a clear-cut opportunity for striker Alessandro Matri to get on the end of. Roma, for their part, comfortably in control. Pjanic hit the post with a curling effort. And El Shaarawy might have done a little better when played through, and he tried to find Salah with a cross and just overhit it. Perotti as well in behind the defence on a couple of occasions, and perhaps not quite finding the right ball in at the right moment. So plenty for Roma to be encouraged about. Lazio will simply have to offer more as an attacking force. Starting lineups, we've not been advised rather of any changes at half-time, although we'll perhaps get clarification on that in a moment when the Lazio players do emerge. They all seem to be present and correct. There's Cataldi and Patrick and Hoyt, Brathwaite, Felipe Anderson, yes, there's the coach, Stefano Pioli and Antonio Candreva. Roma with Szczesny in goal, Florenzi, Manolas, Rudiger, Digne across the back, Pjanic, Keita, Nainggolan, Salah, Perotti and El Shaarawy going further forward. Both these clubs recently eliminated from European football. Roma beaten 4-0 on aggregate by Real Madrid, beaten home and away by 2-0. Not entirely surprising, in fairness to Roma. More surprisingly, Lazio's 4-1 aggregate defeat by Sparta Prague, particularly as they drew the away leg, first leg, 1-1. Beaten here 3-0. Referee just checking around, making sure his assistants are set, making sure the nets are okay. Goalkeeper Federico Marchetti not quite ready, just readjusting the headpiece. And the second half kicks off. What will the second 45 minutes bring us? Lazio fans will certainly be hoping it brings at least a couple of goals for the Biancoceleste, the white and light blues. Here's Nainggolan straight away on the attack for Roma. Good ball in as well. Really interesting angle he found for that one. Candreva. Biglia. A little frustrated that he didn't have options further forward that he was interested in there. Some of the Lazio fans felt he should have gone forward. rather than sideways. Here's Wesley Hoyt. A little late to decide what he wanted to do with that, and in the end has put it straight into touch. A little too casual from the Dutchman. Perotti sends it wide. Digne. Roma, by all accounts, doing everything they can to try and sign Digne for next season. He's really played well since arriving from PSG on loan. Question mark is going to be over the asking price. PSG seem to be wanting a little more than Roma are prepared to pay for a left back. Nice ball forward, Matri. Not a bad idea from Matri, just to try and set Felipe Anderson going. Lazio warming up a few substitutes, Miro Klose among them. Rudiger with the clearance, left-footed. Certainly seems to have been a more positive Lazio in the opening couple of minutes of this second half, looking forward a little more than they were in the first. Here's Perotti, one-on-one against Bisevac. Drifts past him effortlessly, and then, oh dear. Sort of thing you more expect to see on a Sunday park, the winger tripping over the ball. Sunday Park amateur football, of course, not Sunday Park Olympic Stadium. Parolo and Keita both misjudging their jump for that one. Here's Parolo. Pjanic does well to dispossess Candreva, and this is where Roma can be very, very dangerous on counter-attacking situations like this. They have plenty of mobile and intelligent footballers. El Shaarawy, Digne. Low ball in, oh goodness me! Almost caught the goalkeeper unawares. Lovely effort by Digne, I think he did it deliberately. He didn't really seem to be aiming for anybody. And he very nearly caught Marchetti out there. It's a corner for Roma. Pjanic has gone across to take it. 5 players for Roma in the centre. That was a good header away from Parolo. Salah with the volley over the top. Parolo wins the header. Turn forward for Candreva, who will keep that in. He's in a good position one-on-one against Florenzi, who suffers a little bit when players have got skill and run against him. Nainggolan. Game moving from end to end as Lazio look to get involved and look to encourage their supporters to get behind them. There were definitely sounds and signs of frustration from the Laziali in the first half as their team were bullied by their local rivals. Matri lays it off. Oh, nicely taken in his path by Cataldi. Candreva onto the right foot, or looking to get it onto the right foot at least. Forced away from goal. Goes for goal. Sends it wide. Roma did the right thing there with him, though. They just kept pushing him wider and wider. And in the end, when the shot came in, it was hit with some force, but it wasn't accurate. Florenzi. Nainggolan. Oh dear, that was a misplaced header from the Belgian. Luckily for him, Pjanic was there to recover. El Shaarawy and Patrick clashing heads perhaps there. The young Spaniard has stayed down and is thrashing about a bit. It's difficult to see from the replay, in fairness, exactly what happened there. Doesn't seem to have been any spiteful intent from El Shaarawy. There are a few players out there that have no second thoughts about hurting an opponent if he needs to, but El Shaarawy's never struck me as one of them. Here's Manolas. Relatively untroubled first half for Kostas Manolas and the rest of the Roman defenders. And their keeper, Szczesny, who's yet to have a save to make, really. Salah with the layoff. Oh, he's done very well there, the Egyptian. Haven't seen too much of him today, but he's burst into life momentarily there, and he might be able to play Nainggolan through. And Lazio have just done enough to dig themselves out of trouble. Here's Florenzi. Roma looking to press home the advantage. Nainggolan with the low ball in. Florenzi's got the crossing opportunity. Mohamed Salah has pushed it over the top of the bar. Intelligent cutback. And the first touch at the stretch was a good one from Salah. And he couldn't keep the second effort down. And Lazio look as though they are going to make a substitution. Miro Klose receiving some instructions. Most likely change is the guy in possession now to come off, Alessandro Matri. He's been able to make very little impact on the match, in truth. It's possible that he'll get some support from Klose, though, and that one of the midfielders will have to make way. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Here's Perotti, another nice run from the Argentine. Nainggolan, well, he was asking too much of Perotti there. He's really just overhit that, the Belgian. But he's been another major force for Roma again this afternoon. Transfer rumours building up that he might be leaving the club at the end of the season. Roma fans certainly hoping that's not the case. Parolo. Oh, he's done well to withstand the challenge. He's got support as well. Here's Candreva. Lazio fans wanted him to shoot. He wanted to find a safer passage for a pass. Oh, lovely little ball through. Long range effort, oh dear. Well, he's one of Italian football's brightest prospects, Danilo Cataldi. Came through the youth system here in the Italian Inter-21 international. Well, Matri, as suspected, is coming off and being replaced by Miro Klose. And the other younger man, I should say, coming on is Balde Keita, 21 years of age, the young Senegal international, replacing Antonio Candreva, which is perhaps a little bit of a surprise. So we now have a Keita for both sides. Difference in age between the two of them, though. Here's Felipe Anderson, and again he just drifts past Rudiger. who is shown the yellow card. Well, it wasn't dissimilar to the incident which Lazio claimed should have been a penalty in the first half. Here it's a much clearer foul by the big centre-back. One in the first half, I think. He didn't have much chance to get out of the way there. He made no attempt to get out of the way, instead did the exact opposite and just pushed his considerable frame across Felipe Anderson's path. Lazio with the possibility from the dead ball. Just one goal behind. An equaliser would give them a huge boost in confidence, of course. Biglia clips it in. It's a very good delivery. Rudiger gets his head to it. More defending for Roma to do, though. Plenty of men forward in light blue shirts. Biglia with the delivery. Referee just sorting out a little bit of push and shove. In comes the corner. It's in towards the near post. El Shaarawy does the defensive work. Not quite sure what that was supposed to be from Patrick. Flicked on. Klose. Oh, forgot to take the ball with him. Here's Nainggolan. Can change the angle of the attack towards the run of El Shaarawy, but that was well judged by the young defender. Wesley Hood. Tall, rangy player, moving forward with possession. Here's Keita, who's got some talent, there's no question. And he likes to run at defenders, and he's getting himself into the penalty area here, and he's clipped it across. Well, he's suggesting that he intended it as a cross. Not sure it wasn't a shot for the far post, you know, but anyway. Lazio have earned the corner, and the young substitute gets himself involved in the action straight away. In it comes, and the referee spotted a foul. Roma also preparing for a couple of changes. Edin Dzeko about to come on. Will offer a little bit more of a physical presence up front. And it's Stefan El Shaarawy who's going off, and he'll be given a very generous reception. His goal still separates the sides. Headed home in the 15th minute. Also scored for the Italian national team in their heavy defeat against the Germans in a recent friendly. So he's on form, El Shaarawy, but he's replaced for the last half hour of this one by Edin Dzeko. Szczesny launching it downfield. Parolo turns it forward, but he was slightly off balance when he touched that. Seems to have been given a little bit of a nudge by Pjanic. Keita, lovely control on the chest, took that very high, very acrobatically. Klose kept his run going, the pass to him didn't quite work out. Parola with the drive, and it sat up nicely for him to hit it, and he's dragged it wide. Nice little layoff by Cataldi. Certainly it's a more aggressive, it's a more forward-thinking Lazio in this second half. This guy's introduction has made a difference in terms of their energy, in terms of their pace. And he's still going, looking to get the wrong side of the defenders there. Oh, and he's made a fine challenge. Took Florenzi out, but it was a fair challenge. Florenzi looks a little hurt by it, but Roma throw is the end result. Pjanic snaps onto the loose ball. Lazio wanted the free kick. They feel very hard done by with the referee this afternoon, the Laziali. If they don't win this match or get a point out of it, suspect that the recriminations from the Lazio coaching staff and players will be a heavy one. Here's Keita. The veterans had another tidy game, preferred to Daniele De Rossi. Perotti just being fouled there on the far side. Roma have won the last two derbies, 2-0 and 2-1. Lazio last managed to avoid defeat January of 2015 as the ball breaks and the long-range effort comes in, and it's the second post in succession, and Dzeko follows up, and it's 2-0. And that might well be game, set and match. Nangolan is still down. Roma hit the post for the second time in the match. And Edin Dzeko's follow-up. What an inspired substitution by Luciano Spalletti. Nangolan taken out there by Hood. The play was allowed to continue. Perotti's effort struck the post. And there's the follow-up. Nicely weighed in there from Dzeko. That wasn't an easy chance, in fairness. He does have a tendency to miss very easy ones, but kept his cool. And it's 2-0 Roma. Nangolan doesn't appear to be permanently damaged, which is obviously a big relief. Lazio board of directors and the club president looking on. After another promising spell from them, they have been sucker punched. And the Roma fans, as you might imagine, in very, very good voice right now. It's Dzeko's 8th goal of the Serie A season. Not quite being the terror of Serie A defences that Roma fans were hoping for, but he hasn't done badly in his first campaign. Cross comes in, Dzeko was there again, cross was too high. Salah turns it forward, Dzeko underneath it, but the ball is over the top of him. It's comfortably dealt with. Flipped forward. Here's Keita. Lazio have to get him in possession if they can. He's twisting and turning and looking for some space. Felipe Anderson, who's disappeared from the match in the second half. Klose had pulled away from the markers and has won the corner. In comes the corner. Parola wins the first header, and Lazio strike the post, and it's Wesley Hood. Dutchman unlucky there. He's been a little bit vulnerable looking defensively, but he almost got his side back into the match. Keita. Really has been lively since coming on, and here he is again. Just couldn't quite get to the ball. Halfway through the second half. The corner is high and deep, and Felipe Anderson may collect it. The Roma player has gone down. Anderson has carried on and has taken the shot. Pjanic down, holding his face. I have to be honest and say I didn't actually see what happened there. Oh, he caught a flaying arm. In comes the corner. Klose with the header! Off the bar this time. Goodness me, Lazio denied, and they've been unlucky a couple of times in the last few minutes. Hood needs an outlet. He's got it from Balde. Goes down. Closes there. And the curling effort is wide. And the Lazio players are absolutely furious with the referee. And there's a bit of macho nonsense going on from the Lazio players. Cataldi has been booked, presumably. Oh, well, he was part of the protest squad there. He's played in Balde, he's onside. Wow, it's an amazing challenge from Manolas. Does he get the ball? I mean, he gets plenty of Keita as well, but it looks to me like he gets the ball. It's a good challenge, it's a desperate challenge, but he does get something on the ball. Here's the moment when Szczesny, well, it's a brilliant piece of reaction work from the goalkeeper. Parola was there, it was point blank range, and Szczesny just flicks out a finger. Wonderful save. And Roma's 2-0 lead is safe. Whether or not the referee's car will be safe is another question. And Nainggolan, who was injured in that earlier clash just before Roma scored their second goal, has gone down again. And it looks as though we may be getting another Roma substitution. Look at that for a save. How much he knew about it, I don't know. The hand is coming across. Yeah, he gets something on it. And this is the penalty claim. Wow. Concern for the Roma fans as Nainggolan heads off. And Iago Falque is going to replace him. He's played his part again, Nainggolan, as he tends to do. Competitive driving force in the Roma midfield. Bisovac turning it forward. Keita. Well, the Lazio fans might wonder why Keita and Klose weren't brought on a little earlier. Klose perhaps at the age of 37, you can understand them leaving him for the last half hour, but the impish skills and direct running of Balde Keita would have been a very, very welcome addition to the Lazio that we saw for the first half of this match. Roma lead 2-0. Pjanic trying to open the play up. Cataldi looking for his options. One of them is Keita. Fancies his chances against Florenzi in a foot race, and he's absolutely skimped past him again. And he's driving into the Roma penalty area. It's a brilliant run by Keita. Klose denied. Really nice footwork. And Lazio have the corner. It seemed to me from that replay as though Klose got the last touch, but the corner has been given. It was tough to tell, in fairness. I was a fair distance from it. So too easy. Szczesny with the claim. And another Roma man is down, but he's off the pitch. He can receive treatment quite rightly while play continues. Here's Edin Dzeko in midfield, collecting possession. Iago Falque. Lazio win possession. Dzeko goes down. No foul, says the referee. Balde Keita again. This time there's two players facing him. He's looking for the ball into the penalty area. It was a good idea as well. Florenzi doesn't take any chances. Hammers it down away towards Dzeko, who's beaten in the air by Hood. Perotti. Nice run. Stopped in his tracks though. Lazio really showing some fire. Their fans will be encouraged by that. They've got 16 minutes or so plus stoppage time to try and recover this 2-goal deficit. We've seen plenty of dramatic finishes in derby games down the years, so don't write them out just yet. Keita. Clipped in towards Klose. Brilliant header by Miro Klose. And Lazio are back in the game. It really has made a difference for them, bringing on the pace and enthusiasm and skill of this young man, Keita. And the experience and slyness of Miro Klose. It was such an unselfish piece of work. Headed it back into the danger area. And Marco Parolo is there. I think Klose's header may well have drifted wide, but Parolo was brave, followed up. And Lazio are back in this game. And the Lazio fans now really find their voice. Can they inspire their heroes to grab another one? Roma had been in control for most of the match. With a better side for most of the match, it has to be said. But the nerves might just start to jangle now. Keita. Again against Florenzi. Cuts back. Mohamed Salah was fooled by the attempted cross and the ball in. Doesn't quite find its mark. Keita trying to drive it away for Roma, but he's given it away. Parolo turns it forward first time, and Keita's in again. And he was blocked by his namesake, the more experienced Seydou. Lucas Biglia with the corner. Plenty forward now in blue shirts. In it comes. Decent delivery, turned on! Goodness me, Felipe Anderson, what was he thinking? That was a wonderful chance for the Brazilian. Couldn't quickly enough gather his composure. And Roma certainly have to gather their composure. They're looking a little nervous. The Lazio players understandably now throwing themselves around the pitch. An extra jolt of energy that adrenaline gives you. Parolo does well to defend the ball. Cataldi, Felipe Anderson. It's a nice idea for the pass as well, and he's found Miro Klose. It's just offside. Beautiful leap by Klose for the goal. Really timed his jump well, and you can see what it means to Marchetti there. Beaten twice. Could his side still yet rescue a point? Mohamed Salah, that was a little bit lazy from the Egyptian there. Had no need to be caught offside in that position. Haven't seen much from Mohamed Salah today, in truth. Cataldi, Italy under-21 international, and plenty of respected Italian football observers think he'll have a decent future in the national team as well. Can he play his part? Ball towards Klose, who's battling away for it. And has given away the free kick, and Manolas stays down. Greek defender suggesting that he took a blow in the face. Well, he certainly did. I don't think it was a deliberate one. You can see Klose jumping. He's got his eyes firmly on the ball, but he does catch Manolas. Ten and a half minutes remaining. Do Roma have enough in the tank to hold on against a Lazio side that has now found second wind? Salah. Nice work by the Egyptian. Pjanic turns away from trouble. Finds Mohamed Salah again. He's got a couple of players moving forward to try and support him. Biglia shows good strength. Clears his team's lines. Pjanic onto the loose ball. Dzeko's there. Salah is there. And Edson Braafheid does enough. And Roma make a change. And it's a defensive change. Mohamed Salah coming off and being replaced by the left-sided defender, Ervin Zukanovic. Zukanovic being given some instructions. And probably mean him slotting in to the left side of the midfield and just giving Roma a little bit of extra presence in midfield as Lazio look to come forward. Rudiger does very well to actually keep that ball in play. Or did he keep it in play? No, he didn't. It's a very good attempt to keep it in play then. Yeah, it does seem to have left the field of play, doesn't it? Rudiger, who there seems to be in a right-back role. Oh, dearie me. That wasn't the best defensive header I've ever seen. Milan Bisevac getting his wires completely crossed with Marchetti. And Roma will have the opportunity just to eat up a few seconds and put Lazio under a bit of pressure from the corner. It's been a really enjoyable game of football. The quality hasn't, you have to be honest, been the greatest. But derby matches are often about commitment, not necessarily always about great quality football, but they can be intriguing, fascinating games nonetheless, and this one has been very watchable. In it comes from Pjanic. Keita's there. Drive from Florenzi. Oh, it's a magnificent goal. Alessandro Florenzi. And that will help settle the nerves. The corner was cleared, and the Italian international came in on the volley and absolutely leathered it. And it stayed low. It went back through a crowd of players, and Marchetti was beaten for the third time this afternoon. And Lazio's revival has been given a very, very brutal jolt. Keita was beaten in the air. It was headed away. Look at that for a volley. It's really good technique to keep the ball down. How many times down the years do you see players coming in that sort of position, thrash it miles over the bar? He's got on top of it. He's kept it low. It's accurate. And it's a very fine goal, and it's broken the heart of the Lazio fans. And a few of their players as well. Oh dear. That young fan. Very disappointed. Cataldi is off for Lazio. It's their third and final change as we get confirmation of the scoreline. Scorer and minute. Florenzi in the 83rd. Are Roma going to do the double over their fierce rivals? Lazio certainly running out of time. Here's Felipe Anderson. Keita. Nice footwork. Felipe Anderson. Florenzi tries to keep him away from goal. Felipe Anderson just manages to earn the corner. Here he is again. Biglia measures the cross. He's gone deep. And they'll get another corner. In it comes, edge of the 6-yard box. Plenty of players there. And headed over the bar by Marco Parolo, who came in at full speed. There's a replay of Florenzi's goal, what could prove to be the decisive goal. 7th of the season for the Roman. Good strength from Dzeko. Perotti. Iago Falque measures the ball in. Edin Dzeko's there, and he was well blocked. Good defending by Wesley Hood. Less than 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining for Lazio now. Roma are going to close the gap on Napoli to 4 points, and who knows, just put the Neapolitans under enough pressure, perhaps, to steal second place from them. Here's Felipe Anderson. Is there a sting in the tail? Anderson, one of the most likely players to produce it. Tries to prod it through the gap. Couldn't quite pull it off. Zukanovic does his work defensively. Digne. Pjanic. Plenty of space now for Roma in counter-attacking situations, as Lazio, understandably, of course, are committed forward. Perotti does well, winning possession in the 50-50 challenge. He's got Florenzi. Perotti measures for goal. Perotti slams it home. It's 4-1. It's a brilliant strike, and any doubt now has been removed. Roma have won the derby. He's made himself a very popular figure with the Roma fans already since his arrival in the transfer window. Luciano Spalletti doesn't look very happy, but trust me, he is. His team have produced the goods when it mattered most. Lazio put them under some pressure by getting back into the game, and Roma have stepped up and responded. And that young man's face is the, well, sums up the Lazio feeling, and that's the Roma feeling. 4-1. A very fine goal by a very fine player. Carried it forward, defenders backed off, looked up, picked his spot. Plenty of pace in the left-footed. Placed well, side-footed, round Marchetti. 4-1. It's his third goal for Roma in Serie A since arriving on loan from Genoa. I can't imagine any reason why Roma won't be making his move to the capital a permanent one. He's been a very, very clever piece of business. Claudio Lotito, the Lazio club president, very controversial club president with plenty to think about. His team have been beaten again in a derby. And you have to say, beaten too easily. They had some feisty fight about them once they found an goal to get back in the game at 2-1, but overall they haven't offered enough. They've been outplayed, outfought, and Stefano Pioli, well, it'd be very surprising if he's still in a job come the end of the season. And there's a strong challenge there on Pjanic. Referee awards the free kick as we move inside the final minute. And there's a little bit of unnecessary stuff going on. Manolas and Parolo involved. Szczesny. A little too slow to deal with that, Szczesny. Wanted the extra touch and found himself blocked. Well, now there's the incident that led to the fourth goal. Perhaps Perotti a little fortunate as the ball did strike his arm, but certainly wasn't a deliberate handball. Sort of thing that can happen in a game, although referee Luca Banti certainly is not going to be very popular with the Lazio side of the city of Rome this evening. Made a couple of big decisions that have gone against the Laziali. Most notably in the first half when he denied Felipe Anderson a penalty after a challenge from Rudiger. And the Roma fans joyously singing one of their favourite songs when their team are winning, taunting the opposition. Ma che siete venuti a fare? What was the point of you coming? What did you think you were coming for? That sort of translation. 6 minutes of time to be added on. I'm not quite sure where 6 minutes have come from, in all honesty, but it gives Lazio a glimmer of hope. It is just a glimmer. Here's Patrick. Shot was blocked. Keita volleys it away. Anywhere will do. Joy for Morgan De Sanctis on the right and Francesco Totti, of course, on the left. As Roma swept 4-1 into the lead. My guess is that young man supports Lazio. There'll be derby victories ahead for him to watch, I'm sure, but not this afternoon. Well, Roma have done what they needed to do this afternoon. They've taken full advantage of Napoli's slip. Napoli, of course, will still be strong favourites to finish second. They've got a 4-point advantage, but Roma have done what they needed to do. They've put some pressure on. Pjanic trying to dribble his way through, and he's committed the foul. Referee allowed it to go, as it was clearly advantage Lazio. Iago Falque. Foul there by Biglia on Iago Falque. Dzeko's in the area. That was a good defensive header. It needed to be as well. Acrobatic clearance. Sukanovic back to Szczesny. Ball seemed to have left the field of play on the far side. Yes, that's exactly what the assistant referees just signalled. Well, when Parolo bundled the ball home from close range in the 74th minute to make the score Lazio 1, Roma 2, Lazio hopes were raised. Felipe Anderson couldn't quite react quickly enough to what would have been a glorious opportunity to equalise just a few moments later. And since then, oh dearie me, Hout cannot have any complaints. It's the yellow card, it's his second of the match, and he's off. It was a desperate lunging challenge from the Dutchman. He must have known, as he flew into it, that it was going for broke. You win the ball in those situations cleanly, or you're getting a yellow card. No question he was getting a yellow card. How much contact there actually was with Florenzi is debatable. Florenzi is a bit of a drama queen in those moments, but the challenge was not a very pleasant one. And the referee had no choice. Lazio down to 10 men. Here's Perotti. Comfortable save. Well, if the fourth official is correct, we've got a minute of time remaining. And it will be a Roma throw. The Lazio fans already leaving in their droves. They have been outplayed. And they will have to wait until next season for another chance at Roma. They were beaten 2-0 in Roma's home game earlier in the campaign. That was in November. They were thoroughly outplayed on that afternoon as well. And here, although they had a brief flurry of about 10, maybe 12 minutes in the second half when they threatened to equalise, they have been comfortably brushed aside overall by a very good Roma performance in patches. And the Olé is going round from the Roma fans, and why not? Their team has comfortably won the derby. There's the final whistle. Lazio 1, Roma 4, El Shaarawy, Dzeko, Florenzi and Perotti for Roma. Parolo after Roma were 2-0 up for Lazio, but it wasn't enough. The final score here, Lazio 1, Roma 4. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.